that note, I'm going to ask Adam to go ahead and join me here, and we're going to get this thing kicked off. Adam, it's good to see you this afternoon.
Yes, thanks, Eric. Thanks for the awesome introduction there. I'm glad to be on with you today. I know you do a lot of these solo. We appreciate you doing that for us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm happy to join, and we got a lot of great questions to ask Jen and Bill, Jen and Bill about their business. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim, let's go ahead and get you on, and Bill, and I know we've got a lot of discussion. So, folks, as they're getting ready to come on, this is a great moment for you as a participant to, again, find that Q&A box and type in your questions that you'd like to ask Jen or Bill as we go through this afternoon. I'm going to kind of monitor that, and whenever I can, I'll get I'll interject some of these questions as Adam kind of goes through with it. So, Adam, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you introduce these two folks.
Okay, thank you. Well, for starters, it looks like Jen, you guys are in different locations, and you mentioned that one of you was still at your job there, huh?
Yes.
So,
Yes, yes, I am.
does that mean that you guys are trying to build this thing kind of part-time right now, or are you doing it full-time, Bill, or what's the situation there with how much time you have?
Well, when my schedule is different from Jen's. Jen goes in and she leaves the house every day at 12. I'm up earlier than that in the morning, getting out like most people. But I tend to get done, in the early part of the afternoon. I spend the rest of my day when I get home, I spend the rest of my day uh, with my business, Chess Code Services, and trying to get our name out there and to develop relationships. I spend a lot of hours after my full-time job doing that.
So you guys are both juggling full-time jobs and running this business.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Okay. So, well, let's go ahead and get into, speaking of jobs, let's get into, tell everybody on here a little bit about your business background, your work experience. Like, are you in healthcare? Did you have any kind of healthcare background? And, what led you to look at medical billing as a business? Let's start there.
Okay. So no, I did not have a, medical background. But having three boys, yes, contacting insurance constantly, yes, surely qualified me to
Yeah,
deal with
yeah.
insurance companies. And that's what kind of the catalyst of I wanted to get my own business, and I wanted to be able to make my own hours. And so that's why me and Bill decided to start doing our research. And it took us several months and writing out the pros and cons. And I felt that ABS, through the webinars like this and seeing the support and how everything worked, I really felt that they had a great support system. And that was one of the things that mainly drew me to it. Tim, I don't know if you guys that are on here have dealt with him yet, but Tim is amazing. Joanne is amazing. All the whole support team. If you ever have any questions, they are here to help you. So it's great that we're able to have that. For me, I feel that, we tried looking at other places like we did like gas stations and some pizza places, and it just didn't fit for us at that moment because they didn't have the support system. They didn't have what we were looking for. So that's why we went with ABS.
Yeah, so you're saying that you were looking at all different types of franchises and
Yes.
yeah.
We were looking
We
at
did an extensive background.
oh yeah.
We wanted to find something that was sustainable, something residual, something sustainable, something lasting. And we went on, there's different sites you can go on, right? And look at franchise companies, see what they offer, see what the initial investment is. What really got us is really your dad. He was amazing on these talks. He was amazing. He helped us. He answered it. We had so many questions, not only for him, but anybody within earshot that was working for ABS, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we spent several times, not just in days or weeks, but I'm talking months of going back and forth with these webinars before we made a final decision. And we
Right.
come to find out that ABS, like Jen said, offers the best support system. I believe they thoroughly convinced me they stand behind their product and the software that they use. The support is not only there for ABS licensees, it's there for your clients as well. So there is a lot of opportunity for you to be able to benefit from services that ABS offers. And
Yeah,
that's
and they
what
do the
drew
training.
us towards ABS. That's what drew us towards ABS.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming that a lot of the things about this opportunity that franchises don't have, like there's no territories with this, there's no royalty fees. I'm sure that was part of your decision making, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't see anybody typing any questions yet. So guys, if you have any questions for them about their business, feel free to type those in. But Eric, did you have anything that come to mind that you wanted
Yeah,
to-
it does. Yeah, because I think what Bill was saying early on is because we've got a good group of folks here today. It all starts here with these Wednesday webinars. I mean, this is kind of where you've got this learning tool that is, you learn a lot about who we are, who the business is, what potentials that there are. How many webinars do you think you attended before you pulled the trigger over here?
Several. And I mean, I just, because I just was like, I can't be true. Like, you really can do this, and and just having that visual,
Sure.
and being told that you would be trained and that, it would help you going along the way. When we did our first proposal, we had to have Tim help us with that. Any questions we have with our current clients moving forward, he's always there. I love the fact you can get right in there and you can make appointments whenever you need to. Not many companies do that to help their franchisees. Not many are there as supportive as ABS is.
Yeah, and we also have that private support website that you get a lifetime login.
Yes.
There's a lot of bigger franchises that don't have stuff like that.
No.
Yeah, and we give you lifetime access to that as well. So 24/7, you can go download, documents, watch videos, all kinds of good stuff.
Yes.
We do have some questions coming in, and I was gonna start getting into, they're starting to get into the first client, marketing type questions. Do you want to take one? Oh, there's a bunch of them coming in now. Wow. Do you want to take one, Eric?
Yeah. So let's start off with Don, and because obviously, Jen and Bill, it's always, everybody wants to always know what's your biggest challenge that you've ever had. So Don's asking, what were the biggest challenges that you faced whenever you started the business from your experience? So let's kind of just kick off with that one, if you don't mind.
Do you want me to speak on that, Jen, or are you going to speak on it?
You can go ahead about the grassroots.
You might want to talk about the fact that you guys, you went through training. Tell us when that date was.
Yeah.
And because we were talking previously about there were some delays and some personal things you guys had going on, work, and so kind of talk about that, and then any additional challenges that come to mind. Yeah.
Yeah, Jen, I'll let you speak on that, and then I'll follow up on you.
So we, at first, when I went ahead and I bought the company, we were in the process of getting a home. So it took us a little bit, about 4 or 5 months. We finally moved into the new home because the previous owners were trying to push back the move-in date. But at first, through all the when we got into the new house, we did all of our training, and we first did what was called the grassroots. We discovered that the grassroots was really hard with marketing because a lot of doctors' offices, they don't, it's like that wall. They don't want you to break through to talk to somebody. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But for us, it just was not working. So what we tried to do was we came across what's called Alignable. In June of 2023, we got on Alignable, and it has just been leaps and bounds for us with marketing. We make contact with people. Now, sometimes, they might not be able to help us, but at least planting that seed, because when they come across other people that might need some medical billing help, or, other doctors that they come across, that's how we're able to, and then they refer us. That's great. Again, just getting to know what people's whys and why they started their company. And that has been an absolute great thing for us. Bill,
That's a
you want
little
to
bit
talk
like
about?
LinkedIn, right? Is that a LinkedIn kind of thing, or how are they different? Explain to everybody what that site's all about.
All right, so I'll pick that up, Jen. So, with Alignable, it's a little bit similar with to LinkedIn. Alignable, the great thing about the Alignable is, and I know we're going to discuss this down the road, but there is opportunity not to meet people just locally in your area, but you can reach them regionally,
Mhm.
not just regionally, but you can reach them nationally. Like I have connections on there that are in Hawaii and Canada. So if that gives you an idea, well,
Wow.
it's a broad spectrum. Obviously, we cater to the specialists, right? The doctors who are in private practice that are OBGYNs or dermatologists or physical therapists or mental health therapists, those specialty doctors, they are all on Alignable. They're all
Mm,
on there. Um,
okay.
and then, how you set your profile up, how you make your connections and all those things, I can discuss with you at another time if you like. But yeah, that is a great platform for us. It's opened up other doors that were closed because like Jen said, like when I had a previous business, I was renting cars, right? I rented cars for 5 years and
Mm,
I was a 1099. I had my own location and I would have to go out to the body shops, the car dealerships, right? And I would try to get these guys on board with my location. So, and I was basically getting like a percentage, kind of like here, right? But I was doing that grassroots marketing and I would have to go back maybe once or twice or three times, but eventually it would work. And I end up being within my first year, probably top 10 in the East Coast. So I thought that would work for ABS, and boy, was I wrong.
Yeah. Marketing to doctors is so differently than marketing to any other type of industry
Yeah,
out there. That's for
right.
sure.
Because they don't have the time. They
Yeah.
don't have the time. And if you get their office manager, they probably don't have the time either, or they'll just brush you off and say, well, yeah, yeah, I'll put a message in for you. So,
right.
we did that. We were religiously doing that. We were religiously going to like all parts of Chester County area over where I live here in Pennsylvania, going to dentists, going to doctors, going to these different type of specialists over and over and over again. We were following the what we were told to do, like, with the material, marketing material we were given. First time come out, give them this. Second time come out, give them a little more. Third time out, then you start to get into the what we do kind of thing. So there just came a point in time where we said, that grassroots marketing is not going to be uh, beneficial for us.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously it can be challenging. It's one of a dozen methods that we teach you, and some people are really good at it. They click with it. Other people they have, also based on the limited amounts of time that you have, if you're juggling full-time jobs and all that, it makes it a little bit tougher to get out there and hit it, all day every day, So that's yeah, that can be a tough one. So Alignable is kind of like basically like a virtual networking kind of site, which makes it easier for you guys. But did you ever try to do any like in-person networking, join any local, chamber of commerce, B&I groups, meetup groups, any of that stuff?
We did join a local business group here in Pennsylvania, and we did put in an ad in the local magazine that they had that went around to all the doctor's offices and went everywhere, all the local stores. And it didn't reap any benefits as much as what Alignable does.
Yeah.
Good. So you
Well,
found kind of, oh, well, sorry, I didn't mean to, but it sounds like you found a kind of a niche there, how you're able to
Yes.
do it. And that's what Adam's saying. We've got so many different marketing techniques of one thing may work in one part of the world where, maybe down here in the Texas area, people are at meetup groups all the time, and this, it's just depending upon where you are and what's actually working for you. So so whenever, if you don't mind me asking, kind of with that follow up, I know that you guys had a little bit of challenge because you were buying a house and you trying to get your business started all at the one time. That sounds like a great way to get a business started. You buy a house and then you got to wait to move in, right? And then but once you guys got settled in, once obviously you've gone through your trading, you got settled in your house and you started with the alignable part of it. How long did it kind of take, would you say, to get your first client?
Bill, we have one client so far, and we do have ones that are getting on board. It's just a matter of them going through the training and everything with the new software.
From the time we have got on alignable, I'm going to go from that time.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to say within a year, we had our first client.
Awesome.
Right.
Unfortunately, we found out later he has stage 4 inoperable cancer from prostate cancer.
Oh,
so
wow.
that was our first client, but we just keep moving, right?
Sure.
But we were very sad to hear about that, and at that point it had nothing to do with business, right? So, and he was based out of Texas.
Oh, wow.
Killian, Texas, yeah. So
yeah.
He said he knew something was wrong with him, but I guess he just kept working, and he says, Bill and Jen, it was my fault. I knew something wasn't quite right, and I just kept going. And that happens, I suppose, sometimes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. But he was a great find for us. I believe, that was the open door, and it allowed us to get on a demo, right? And see what the software is all about, see what questions these doctors have, right? And see how the software companies, how they respond to those questions. It's great to actually get on a demo, and I'm sure some of these other ABS licensees want to do that also. They can't wait to get on that demo and see what it is that these demos are like, and the questions that are asked, and how that system works to their benefit, that software system, right? So once you get on there, it just opens your mind and to actually
speaking for the system,
what it brings to the table for you and your practice, right? So
yeah, the demos are one important step in a series of steps that we teach you. The sales process basically, and that's one thing that ABS and our partners have been glad to do for our owners, is do as many free demos. There's no extra cost or anything. We do those demos, as many demos as you need. We're going to do them for as many years as you're in business. So, because we know, like you said, that's a big part of them being able to see the technology, be able to ask technical questions. We answer all their technical questions. And then, of course, hopefully you've allowed our support team to coordinate, putting together a proposal or help you with a proposal so that you can give that at the end of the demo to the doctors, and then just follow up with them until they're ready to sign. Pretty simple, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And
all right.
We definitely got the support on that. So it's a process. It's a step in process, like you said, Adam, from the demo to working out the business agreement, right? Having somebody go over that with you, right? To make sure before you send it to them. So those are the little steps and process that you learn, and you become seasoned at as you go along.
Yep. Now Brian's asking, when did you start training and how long before you secured your first client? So you said basically your real hardcore marketing started with Alignable. You were doing a little bit of stuff before that. It took you about a year to get your first client through Alignable. May sound like a lot to some people. It's the people that we have that they don't have other jobs, they don't have another full-time job, they're able to do this really all day, every day. A lot of times they're looking at getting a client in maybe 6 months or so. Maybe we've had people that have gotten clients in a couple of months after training. It definitely does happen, but yeah, it can be a process. It's a process of, following all the steps that we give you to reach out to doctors and office managers and educate them on revenue cycle. You know, we've got all these different books and things that hopefully you guys are using as marketing tools, because we found out that doctors do like to be educated. They don't like to feel like somebody's trying to sell them something, but they do like to be educated, and that tends to generate interest. You know, so are you guys using those customized books at all?
Those first set of books, they've been gone. The whole stack of books. When I was doing the grassroots marketing, yeah, I wanted to, as I was going back, after I went back like the third time, then I would present the paper along with the book, and I would write a little something inside the book, and
Yeah.
I would make them aware of, look, here, I wrote this inside the book. Here's it for you. Here's for you. And, tried to plant that seed as to how practices are losing money, how they're losing money out there, and how they're not they're not maximizing their revenue. And that,
Right.
you read those books and you find out just how how they are in that hamster wheel, that one book talks about, and how to get off of it.
Yeah, and we actually give you advice on how to bookmark just certain sections of the book. So, because we know that we keep saying doctors are super busy, and they may not have time to read an entire book, but they can very quickly thumb through and look at your highlighted, bullet points and get the gist of it. So we show you how to do that as well. Any questions pop in there, Eric, that you might want to read?
Yeah. Well, the first one that I think I see here, now I'll ask this to Jenn and Bill. Did you guys already have a limited liability company, or did you kind of learn all that process through us here at ABS and kind of getting that part of it going? Because that's one of the questions that someone's asking. I understand I need to set up an LLC, but how do we get all that done?
We played by, through the training and all the steps. They go through all that with you and what you need to do step by step.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, our business owners can set up their business any way that they want to. LLC is just probably the most common option. But yeah, we have a business operations webinar that you watch, and we talk about the pros and cons of each type of entity. And so Chicks is asking that question. I don't know if I'm saying your name right.
Yep.
But we show you exactly how to get that done. Now, we don't do it for you. You'll need to go to, like, LegalZoom is a website that a lot of people use to get that set up, and that is a cost that you'll have to pay to get that LLC set up. I don't know how much it is these days. $200-300 maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Depending upon the state.
Yeah. So, by the way, I'm going to bring this up several times, but we have a research guide that goes into a lot more detail on some potential operational costs that you might have, like setting up your entity and things like that. So if you have not seen that research guide, just reach out to your ABS rep. We can send that to you, and it'll give you a good kind of idea of what to expect as far as any additional costs you might incur for the business. So a lot of these kind of, I don't know if a lot of these are really directed more at you and me than them.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say, so, Jenn and Bill, you guys, you've got a few clients that you've got going on, but you've got some brand new ones that are coming on board right now. Kind of tell us a little bit about the excitement you guys got going there.
We have a urologist who's on board, and she's just waiting. She's a mobile urologist. So what she does, she's based out of Georgia, and she goes to different clinics of doctors that she knows that request her to come in and do testing on the patients that they see. Sure. We also have 2 psychologists that are in the process of coming on board. And then we just spoke with a cardiologist consultant who has a cardiologist doctor and another doctor that is looking for a better system than what they have. A lot of things that we've been hearing about as to why the gripes of why they need to change their system, their EHR, is the fact that the one they currently have is costly. The one they currently have, you can't pull reports. They don't know what's coming in and what's going out. And it's not user friendly. And that's the great thing about ABS. When there is something new out there or something that, we want to get out to everybody to make their company even better and competitive, that's the great thing about ABS. They have those webinars to let people know about this is what we're, now going to be working with too, to add to, what we already have.
Yeah, that's why we have 3 different software partners that are 3 of the highest rated systems in the country, and they offer slightly different bells and whistles based on what your clients' needs are. Yeah, and different pricing tiers, and so you're right. You have a lot of flexibility with what you can offer with ABS. So now,
so let me.
Go
I was
ahead.
going to say, yeah. So because I'm going to kind of tie in a question here from Carly. So you guys, apparently you're in Pennsylvania area. So you're gaining business, not within where you live, basically, but literally all over the country, which tells us that you're not limited to your area or to a certain location. But once you're starting to talk with these doctors, are you having to meet them in person? How do you deal with the introductions and all of this? Because Carly's asking, were your meetings normally in person?
All right, so I guess I'll take that, Jen.
Good.
So when you set up a profile on Alignable, right? One of the things I did, and I don't have it here now to share, is when I tell them about us and what we do on our profile on Alignable, we created our own link at the bottom. It's a Zoom link. And when we have private conversations, we connect with these doctors and these healthcare consultants and all these types of people from the health and wellness spectrum. I can paste that right into the private message. Hey, on Alignable, it's not about you, the medical biller. We make it about them. What can I do for you today? How can I help you today? What is it that you do? Tell me more about you. And that's what that is what that space is about. They make it all about the other person. And that's how you build relationships. You start out that way, and I'm telling you, you're gonna get it back. You're gonna get it back. Mark my words, you're gonna get it back. It might not be 1 week or 2 weeks. It might not be a month or 2 months. Don't lose hope. Don't lose heart. Keep plugging, because you're going to run into that in this kind of field, in the healthcare field, but I'm telling you, the door is going to open for you. Just keep showing who you are and show your morals and show your integrity and show that you are interested in what they have to offer. And I'm telling you, I've never had so many people come to me as they do on Alignable. I mean, there is opportunity there. I've just met so many interesting people on there that I never ever would have met when going out the door every day, pounding the pavement. I just wouldn't have. Not on LinkedIn, not on some of these other social media sites. This site has given me so much more bigger of a platform, and the idea and the concepts that they offer. There's support on ABS. They offer that same type of support that ABS does when they step up to the plate to help you. Alignable does the same thing. They offer, like, look, we're here to support you, and it's also AI is on there as well. You want to take the long messages out and you want to get something that's crafted and helps you reach out to people. You can recommend people there. You can refer somebody to somebody else on there that's connected to you on your platform. So these are the little bit of the things that I can tell you and how you can build your brand on that platform.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. We're definitely going to be expanding what you're saying about Alignable. We're working together for folks on here. If anybody here joins ABS, we're going to be doing a private licensee only webinar specifically on how to get your Alignable set up and how to start making some connections and getting business on there. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Had some questions come in that I wanted to ask. Liv actually just asked a question. How long did it take to finish the training? Liv, the training right now is an online course done with a live instructor. It's 10 90-minute modules. So that will take you maybe 2 or 3 weeks to finish. Was that you guys' experience on the
Mm-hmm.
training? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then 2 or 3 weeks to finish that. And then you graduate, you become certified, a CMRM, Certified Medical Revenue Manager. And then Liv also asks you guys, are you doing the medical billing work yourself after working your full-time jobs, or have you hired team members now? So I had another person ask about how to, growth, how to manage growth and stuff. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing right now as far as doing the work.
I do usually most of like the setting up the demos, doing the emails. And right now we're just waiting to start on the one, but I'd be doing most of the work in the morning. And then when I go to work, and then when Bill comes home, he'll pick up whatever I didn't finish. And that's how we've been doing everything. But it's great that there's two of us now. I know some people would have one, it's a little bit harder, but for right now, that has
Yeah.
worked. But again, when we really start to take off, we're going to be leaving our full-time jobs and just doing our business. So that's the difference there. We're just basically trying to keep up with, being able to manage things for now. And then once it takes flight, then we're definitely going to be full force into our business.
That's great. And the cool thing is a lot of the work can be done in the off hours, because
Yes.
doctors will be sending the claims and such to you, for a certain day. And then like the next day you can do it first thing in the morning. You can knock it out on a lunch break or evening. So it does kind of work around a busy schedule that way. So, but someone did also ask, Yale asked, how easy is it to scale the business? And I don't know if you guys are even aware, but we have a partnership with a company called Global Healthcare Resource, and they actually can provide subcontract labor for you whenever you get to that point, if you need it. And it's very, very cost effective. As long as you have, 3 or 4 or 5 clients and decent revenue coming in, it's like you can get a full-time employee for like $1,800 a month. It is overseas labor, but they have a whole university that they've built to train people and certify them. And it's pretty legit. So it's very cost effective. So it's very easy to scale, but also to elaborate on that for Yale here, you are certainly welcome to hire anyone you want to. This is your business. So we do have people that hire friends and family to do the work. They hire just regular, employees. They hire, 1099 contract labor. So you have a lot of flexibility when it comes time to scale the business. So yeah. All right. So there's a bunch of questions that are kind of for us.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of tag on what another one that Yale was asking. Do most people start out as part-time side gig? And I think you're hearing, Jenn and Bill, this is a part-time kind of gig for you guys so that you can build it up and kind of balance all these lives that you're having right now.
Yes. Yeah.
So it does give you that opportunity because you guys went through training, you kind of got to go through that in your part-time world and then get everything kind of kicked off there. So yeah, I would say, I would say, I don't know, Adam, how many people have we? I don't know if we've ever tracked it. How many people start off just full-time versus part-time or?
That's tough to say. I don't really know that number. It seems pretty equal. I mean, there are some people that are lucky enough to, with a retirement fund or something, they leave their jobs right away and they have some money to kind of float, to build the business full time. I would say probably the majority of people are in the same situation as Jenn and Bill, where they've got a job that's bringing in money and they can't just quit right away. But even though they might want to, so they've got to kind of take some time to build up the client base, like Jenn said before. The revenue makes it make sense for them to leave the job. So that's probably the more common scenario that we see. So so it can definitely be done part time. A lot of people are doing it part time. Jenn and Bill are doing it. I mean, I would say kind of part time, in my opinion. So yeah.
So let's as we're kind of moving in towards the second half of this hour, Bill or Jenn, kind of tell us what your goals are going into 2025 right now. What's it look like for you guys? What are your goals to go for into this next year?
Just continuing to grow the business. We have some good connections with some consultants. right now who know a lot of doctors.
That's
And we're
awesome.
in the process of getting them on board. And we look so forward to growing our business. Like we said, we don't want to be, doing two jobs all the time. We want to be able to say, okay, we have enough clients. Now it's time to leave and we can just focus on our business. And then from there, get more people on board and just keep growing.
So it sounds like you guys, through this Alignable, you're connecting with healthcare consultants. Is that what I'm kind of getting
Yes.
through? Okay.
Mhm.
So you're kind of
Healthcare
using them as
consult.
almost like of a power partner. I think we
Yes.
talked a lot about that much in our training classes.
Healthcare consultants, and like there's a one guy, he's a retired doctor, but he also is what Jen was talking about, is he negotiates contracts for
Yeah.
these hospitals.
Yeah.
He is in the process of negotiating, and he liked what was offered to him, and what we talked with me and you and Adam were talking about earlier about the certain software we were talking about, right? And the functionality of AI. I mean, this doc, he's hooked on it already, and he's so hooked on it. He said it's the wave of the future, and
Sure.
he's already put us in contact with a woman that handles and makes the decisions on who's going to be doing the building. And his exact words to us were, it could go from 20 doctors up to 2,000.
Wow.
Wow.
And right. And that's what we said. Wow. Right. Well, how do you getting back to like, well, how do you do that? Right, Adam? And talking about outsourcing, right? And all that. So,
Yeah.
Jen was like, well, we'll figure that out when we get across that road. Right. But
We got you covered.
Yes.
Yeah.
so
Kind of reminds me of that story, Patrick, we used to say. We had one of our longtime business owners, and he was it was the golfer, Adam. You remember him? He was out in Arizona.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was asked, "Hey, do you do credentialing?" And he would say, he went back and said, "Yeah, I do credentialing." He got back and called us over here at support and says, "What's credentialing and can I do it?" So it's always, the answer is always yes. We can always help you and find you. And so if you're ever out there in the healthcare field and the doctor or a consultant says, "Can you do this?" the answer is always yes. And that's where you rely, I guess, a whole lot, Jen. I've heard you say rely a whole lot upon support and tapping in
Yes.
knowledge base that's with Tim and his crew.
Yes. Yes. They've been a great asset. They helped us with proposals, with the master agreements, with any questions that came up or emails we got, and we ask them, okay, because the great thing is Tim has his own business. So we ask him, okay, so what would you say if you got an email like this? And he gives us a straightforward answer, which is great, And if he doesn't know, maybe a question that you ask doesn't know the answer, he's always like, let me get right back to you. And yes, he does. He gets right back to you.
And that's what's great about not only our training, but our support team have been, business owners through American Business System. So they know everything that you will need to know going forward to getting that client, getting them onboarded, and even everything after the fact. Adam, this Liv is asking the question, kind of going back to you, Bill, maybe. Are you guys paying any commissions to these healthcare consultants?
No.
That's even better.
Yeah. What are you, I mean, what do they get out of it? How do you guys approach what's in it for me type thing? What?
Well, again, when we get on a phone call, let's say with anybody, we always say, okay, can you tell me a little bit about your business? And we really try to listen to them and, reinforce what they're saying. And, oh, that sounds amazing. And be very attentive to what they're saying. And then based off that, then they'll say, oh, so what do you do? And then we explain to them what we do. And then we tell them, I can give you a free demo. My tech team would love to show you what we have to offer, and through that conversation too, we're also asking those important questions are like, what system do you use now? What are your pain points with it? Why are you thinking about getting into another system? Because a lot of these doctors, they're great at what they do. But the problem is that they they picked when they did their first open up their business, they used the cheapest EHR system around. And then now they're realizing after 2 or 3 years how much money they left on the table. And they're like, we got to come up with something easier. And then, so they're at that point, that's when we're talking with them and we're telling them about what, we have to offer all our systems. And then we do a free demo and they're like, wow. And we're answering all their questions and they really like it. And then from there, then we're back to talking with them again. And then we start sending out that proposal or that master agreement. And then we start getting them right on board.
And
Yeah.
just,
Now,
just to piggyback off of that real quick, Adam, is you're talking about when Liz is asking about the healthcare consultant, right? And I don't want to go down that road again because I know that's a future webinar we're doing, right? But since we're talking about that, right, and the value, and real quick, I want to say is that on going back to that alignable again, right? When you create your profile, it shows you that this healthcare consultant over here is looking to partner with this type of person over here. And they're looking to partner with this type of person. And they're looking to partner with this type of person. It lays out 3 or 4 different scenarios. I can click on there and anybody that I'm connected to in my circle on Alignable, and it makes the introduction for you. You can have an introduction done through AI. Here, I'd like to introduce you to you. I'll leave you alone right now so you can discuss further. My best, and leave it there. And and there's an introduction, like how can we help them, right? If the healthcare consultant is helping us to find these doctors and to find these med spas or dermatologists or whatever, how can we help them? What are they getting out of it? You were saying, right? That maybe they're looking for, I don't know, maybe they're looking for SEO. Maybe they're looking for somebody to help them with their website. Maybe they're looking for somebody to help them with their accounting. Maybe that's somebody you're connected to in your circle and you can make that introduction. And that's only a small fraction. And I'm going to leave it there.
Sounds like you're pretty excited about it. Now, that's there's like a small monthly fee for Lineable, right? It's like a monthly
31,
membership.
we're a premium.
Well,
so
if you do it and you get on there and you create your profile, it doesn't cost you anything. But the only problem with that is you're only getting 8 connections per month. After that, you're out of luck, right? So, but with premium, if you pay the premium, the $31 a month, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. You get 40 connections per month. It expands your reach. Not only locally, it also expands your reach nationally. You get more visibility on Alignable. You pop up in more places, and that's a small fraction. And I'll just leave it there. I keep trying not to give away anything, and it's becomes more difficult for the next conversation. So,
well, like my dad used to say, you can't stumble over the pennies to get to the dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and he said it like that with an accent.
And a lot of these consultants like the fact that if they know of somebody that does, for example, billing like we do, when they come across these doctors and they're saying, gosh, I really need a better billing team. Now they have somebody that they know and they're in their pocket. Okay, perfect. Yep, I can now help you with this too, because it's only going to show that client that, oh, not only did they help me with maybe managing the office, but now they're giving me a contact for a billing company. And I mean, look at how much time they have invested in me.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. Don is asking, historically, is there a time during the year that medical practices are more open to changing medical billing? That's an excellent question, considering we're getting towards the end of the year here. So you guys have any thoughts on that? A better time to market?
No, I mean, we do our marketing through Alignable year round.
Year round, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what the answer is. The answer is the first of the year. So typically doctors are looking at the books, and the first of every year, they're like, we need to figure out how to fix what's going on here, and so they seem to be more open in the first quarter of every year to change. That's what our experience has been. So you're definitely getting the momentum going in an awesome way. And it's so cool because you guys are already past the hardest part of getting that first client. That's the hardest
Mhm.
part of this business.
Yes.
You know, I mean, truth be told, it can be a real struggle for some people to get that first client, but that's what we do. That's why we do everything that we do to help build up your credibility. And now you guys are building up your credibility on Alignable, and people are seeing all these connections that you're making, and it's just going to get even better and better and better. It's pretty cool.
And then I want to say something to these people that are on here today on this webinar is when you get that first client, they're going to refer you to their friends, and
Yeah.
their friends are going to refer you to their friends. After that, you're going to be like, wow, the door
Mhm.
just swung open.
Yeah. And
And they want to do that because why? Because they like what you have to offer, and they see that you're doing the billing, right?
Mhm.
And that you're handling the billing, and they're going to say their software is amazing. Those guys do a great job billing it out. And I want to refer you to Susie over here, the mental health therapist, my good friend, because you know what? I think she really can benefit from what you guys have to offer. And that's how it goes. You get that
you know,
one. They want
Dr. Vicki Rackner talks about that constantly. She's a big proponent. Once that, once you've got one doctor on, doctors talk to other doctors because the
Yes.
doctors know each of their pains. And so once, like Adam has said, and like you guys have said, once you've got past that first one, it's kind of like you said, Bill, the doors start swinging open. I'd like to kind of come really quickly back to Don's question about historically, when's a good time to market to doctors? And I tell you, it's now, like Adam said, now's a great time, but it's also a great time to be thinking. I don't know if Jill and Bill, you guys have been thinking about this, but coming up at the first of the year, the doctors are going to have to redo all of their HIPAA compliancy training. So through Compliancy Guard, that's another door opener to me. It's a win because once you get them started on that, and they have to have all of their HIPAA training done all throughout the year. And now is another time to introduce that part of the business because you may not be making a lot of money on that. You'll make some money getting the doctors on the service, but you're saving the doctor potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in HIPAA violations. So Compliancy Guard is a great opportunity. I'm kind of talking to Don here as well from a historical standpoint, kind of looking as your marketing as you're going out of 2024, going into 2025. This is another thing that they're thinking about through between now and the next 2 to 3 months.
Yep, that's right. There's a lot of different door openers that we've got.
Oh man,
a dozen different services that are all kind of related to revenue cycle and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's several questions that we're going to get to that are not directed at Jen or Bill. So hang in there. We'll get to those. I'm trying to find one. Carly was asking, once a doctor agrees to use your services, how long before you start to see income from that client? My experience is you're invoicing about 30 days after go live. Have you guys experienced about the same?
Yep, that's it. Yep, 30 days. Yep, after go live. Yeah, because you got to figure if they already have a EHR, when you're going to a different system, one of the ones that we provide here, ABS, it's at least 3 to 4 weeks for that integration, and then they got to train them on the system, their staff, and then you start working.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on which platforms they choose and all that,
Yes.
varying times. The cool thing is we are doing the training and implementation for you. So you're just kind of like making sure, checking in, making sure everything's going okay, right? And then let's see, where was I going with that question? Yeah, so it could take a little bit of time to get to that go live date, and then we hand it back over to you guys to do the day-to-day, claim processing.
Yes.
Have you guys tell everybody on here what are you using as far as like invoicing program? Because we don't really have third-party invoicing built into our billing platform. So are you guys using like QuickBooks or one of those kind of smaller?
With our bank that we have, it does invoicing for you.
Oh.
So you can do an invoice right there. Yeah, we can do an invoice and just send it right out, which is great. I do have Tim was great about giving me a copy of what his invoices look like, and I can tweak that as well and add in my logo. But I found out from my bank that I can do it that way as well. So either way, there are different ways.
Yeah. Now, are you including like some sort of net receipts report or something with the invoice? Because you want to show them, here's all the money that we helped you collect this month, and we get, X% of that number.
So with the one system, the one that we currently use, Myriad, they
Mhm.
have all the reports right at the fingertips of the doctor. What they see, we see. So that they can do daily, monthly, weekly, quarterly, yearly,
Right.
whatever. They can pull up any report. It's all right there. So they know what exactly is going out and what exactly is coming in. It's all transparent.
Myriad is one of our software partners that use it.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. In general, what are you charging for your services or your
We charge 7%. It all depends too, though, it's between 5 to 7% based on, how big the doctor's office is, that we're going to be working with.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's about average. About 5 to 7 percent is what people are charging kind of across the board there. All right, we'll get up to close to the end of the hour here. So is there any other questions for them that you can see, Eric, that we should be asking?
I don't think so. I do want to. I'll close out with this one from myself. So once you've invested into ABS and into yourselves, have you found that you have to keep paying American Business Systems for anything, any fees, any things like that you have to pay directly,
No.
like franchise fees or royalties or anything else like that to ABS?
Nope.
No, absolutely not. ABS is upfront with everything they do, and they tell you from the beginning what you're getting into, and everything that they offer to help you and support you in your journey.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome.
What's your closing remarks to everybody?
Don't give up. You're going to make it. I know some days might see a little bit harder, but just trust me, once you get that one client, it's just going to explode. And you're going to be so happy that you went with ABS.
Be on the next webinar. The next one.
Yes.
Be on the next one. If you want to listen to how you make it in this business, be on the next webinar.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. We went all the way to the hour. Sorry for keeping you on so long, but thanks so much for joining us, Jen and Bill. We got a few more things to wrap up here, but
sure.
Appreciate your time
all
today.
right.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.